My name is Jonathan Goforth. I'm a realtor. I've been a real estate agent for 23 years, a long time. This video is about buying rental houses. I've got two other links at the bottom of this. The other one is on how to flip houses. And then there's another one on a nightmare that I had earlier this year that I want to share with you. So there's two links below that relate also to real estate investing. Remember, there is one goal with this, is to make money. This is completely different than a first-time buyer wanting to just own a house. Your goal is to make money long-term as a rental. So let's get started. So my name is Jonathan Goforth, and I've been a realtor for 23 years, a very long time. So doing this YouTube channel is a brand new thing for me. I've only been doing it for like 3 weeks, and so I don't have very many videos yet. I only have 38 subscribers, so please subscribe to my channel because I do want to make a lot more videos. By the way, I have a real estate book that I wrote a few years ago called How to Sell Homes in a Tough Market. It's published, it's at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, it's on Kindle, and it's got a lot of funny stories in it. But I just want to show you, I do have a lot of experience doing this. In fact, last year in 2019, the biggest honor of my 23-year career, I got listed in Forbes magazine as one of the top market leaders in the country, representing Kansas City. And then it happened again this year. I am listed again on the top 500 list in the country in an article in Forbes magazine. Just very exciting. So I want to show you the pros and the cons to rental houses. Now at the very bottom of this are two other videos, because this seems to be the most popular topic, is real estate investing. And so I've got one below on how to flip houses. And then there's another one with this horrible nightmare that happened earlier this year I want to share with you on one of my clients, so you understand what can happen and how quickly it can get really bad if you don't have a budget and you didn't do your research on what the homes are worth. Now, let's say you're looking at buying rental houses. And let's say you're new. Now, if you have already a lot of rental houses, you already know how to do all this. But if you're new, you're thinking about it, you have one already, or this is your very first rental house. Couple things you need to do first. You need to get with a lender, because let's say you're going to buy a $100,000 house. $100,000 house, you need to figure out how you're going to pay for it. What kind of loan are you going to get? You're going to either get an investor loan to actually buy that one house with its own financing, which means the interest rate's a little bit higher, and you're going to need 20% down or more. Or there are creative ways to do that. Something you can do, if you have a lot of equity in your current personal residence, you can take out a loan against it. And if that loan's big enough, well, you can pay cash for the rental house and not even mess with the investment loan. Or if you just need to find a place to get your down payment, then that's a good place, is to take out a loan on your current house. That makes this possible. So you can start doing this faster and more often. The secret to this really is the more rental houses you have in the best locations, the more money you're going to make. So let's talk about this. One thing you need to figure out are the expenses. You need to make it cash flow. Now, right now we're in a very strong seller's market. It's the summer of 2020. Coronavirus is going on. It's in full swing. Right now, everybody's dealing with school starting. How is it going to start? And so coronavirus has brought on the strongest seller's market in history. We already had a seller's market leading up to coronavirus, but now we have a lot of people that just don't want to sell their homes. Especially a lot of older people don't want strangers coming in, and so they're waiting to list their houses. So as a result, there's not a whole lot of houses on the market. So there are not a lot of good deals right now. Keep in mind, you need to make this cash flow. You need to get a good deal. Now you're not flipping, so it's not so crucial you buy low and you sell high in 2 months. But some things you need to know. Here's the big question I get from my investor friends. We're out looking at houses. What would this rent for? Well, I don't know. I don't do rentals. Nobody does rentals. There is no database like MLS of rental properties. So you, as the investor, need to do some research. You can go everywhere. You need to go everywhere possible to find out what the surrounding homes are renting for. You can go on Craigslist. I have investor friends who list them there. You can look on that and look at what rental prices are going on. You can try looking at Zillow in the rental division of the website. Look at rental prices. There's a lot of other websites. I can't think of them all now, but you just need to go do a search, rentals in your suburb, and see what pops up. So you are educated. If you think that house is going to rent for $1,200 a month, you'd better make sure it can get $1,200 a month. Because if you're really looking at $1,050 a month, that's going to be a mistake. Maybe you can bump it up to $1,300 a month. You need to know what it can rent for. Now, couple things. Here are some reasons to buy a rental house. Let's say you pay $100,000. Your loan will be $80,000 if you put 20% down. Over time, now, at first, if you have a loan that big, you are not cash flowing hardly at all. Keep in mind, this is a long-term investment. Long-term. Some things you need to figure into your budget. You've got to do a budget. In this budget are all the different costs for you to fix it up quickly so you can get it rented. And are you going to manage your rental property yourself, or are you going to give it to a management company? If you don't want to do it yourself, I wouldn't do it myself. My brother doesn't do them himself on the rental properties. You need to get the budget of what that's going to cost in advance. Before you start buying, you need to figure out the rental management company you want to use. Get what their fees are and put together your budget. Make sure you can cash flow. Let's say on a $100,000 house, you are going to actually make profit of $200 a month. That doesn't sound like much, does it? It sounds like this whole thing is not worth it. But that's because your loan is so big. That's taking most of your profit right there. You make $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year. That's all this is. But keep in mind, this is long-term investing. You're not flipping. This is long-term. Long-term. Years. You're going to own this property for years. That's why you want to make sure it's a good location property. Now, over time, here's where real estate gets so good. Over time, you're going to be paying off this loan. So if this is your chart, let's say, your loan is $80,000. Over time, you are slowly whittling away at the balance of that loan. So I don't know, let's say 5 years goes by and 10 years goes by. At 10 years, your loan is down like this. I don't know, let's say it's got maybe $55,000 left on the loan. Now, typically, houses will appreciate. Keep in mind, right now, we are peaking. Houses are peaking because we're in a strong seller's market. This time next year, if our market changes, houses won't be worth quite as much. They'll go down in value a little bit. But over time, over years, the real estate market has always increased over time. So let's say it increases 3% a year. It could increase 5%. Whatever, but let's say an average, to be safe, let's say it increases at 3%. Now, this is how you build equity in your house. This is why you want to buy quite a few, because it's all about time. The more time is on your side. So the sooner you buy them, the more time you can enjoy them and the equity that they bring. So 3% in 10 years, just for the sake of math, let's just say it's worth $130,000. Now the difference, look at the difference there. We got $45,000 plus $30,000, $75,000 in equity now, 10 years later. In the meantime, you've made $2,400 a year, assuming you didn't increase the rent at all. That's $24,000 you've made in 10 years on top of the equity that it's worth. Now, this gives you the flexibility, the opportunity to do things with that. You can refinance it and take the equity out and use that equity to buy more houses. That's a lot of equity. You could maybe buy 2 or 3 rental houses that year based on this one. And if you keep doing this quickly, you start building up wealth. This is how you build wealth. Now, you may love Donald Trump. You may not like Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is a very smart man when it comes to real estate. He has built a wealth based on this. And it's using debt to your advantage over time. And then you continue doing it. And next thing you know, you've got 10 rental houses. And then next thing you know, you've got 15 and maybe 20. And over time, they are paid off. And that's how you retire with an amazing income. Now, you need to get with a CPA, because let's say you have a friend who makes $100,000 a year at their job. You eventually, let's say you make $100,000 a year in real estate off your rental properties. Who's going to keep more of that? Who's going to pay the most in taxes? Your friend will pay more money in taxes than you will in owning a lot of properties, because you have a lot of tax advantages here that they don't have. They're just going to pay taxes on it. That's another reason. So get with the CPA, figure out how to do all this with your taxes, depreciation, and your deductibles of all the different things that are deductible on a rental house. Have fun real estate investing, because it's exciting. Now keep in mind, the one thing I want you to keep in mind, this is a strong seller's market right now. There are not many deals. If a duplex comes on the market, I'm going to race over there. There's a lot of investors who are waiting for a cheap rental house to come on the market, or a good duplex, or a fourplex. You're going to overpay like they are to buy anything right now. But if the market changes, and eventually it will, it cycles up, it cycles down. It's always cycling up and down. Get yourself ready financially quickly, so you know what you're getting into with your loan, so you're prepared and ready to buy some good rental properties. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please watch my other 2 videos below, and please click subscribe. I want to get some subscribers. Thanks, guys. Bye.